2, 1.
The Great Christmas Light Fight is on! Ho, ho, ho!
Man, my fact book is really getting full, especially since season 13 of the Great Christmas Light Fight just ended. I think I should tell some people some things, give them some updates. But, maybe I should have told them I was going live today. What am I doing here? This wasn't planned, but I said, why not? It's January. It's freezing cold outside. It's about to be dinner time, and I need to burn some calories before I can eat. So I broke out the red book and wanted to give you some updates, some January 2026 updates specifically, as well as talk about some upcoming events. I also want to talk about a recap of season 13 of the Great Christmas Light Fight and share with you what the ratings looked like. Yeah, that's right. Share with you what the ratings look like for this past season of the Light Fight, so we know what's in store for us. And then I'm going to talk about my next very special guest that I'm going to have on here next week. Totally different interview, but it is related to Light Fight, very related to Light Fight, and we'll talk about that later today too. But, as always, even though I'm catching people off guard and I don't know who's going to join me, I might be talking to myself here in the library, which happens quite a bit. I better make it official. So the librarian is no longer out. He is going to be in. So let's start it off like we usually do, and maybe some people will join us. If not, they'll have to watch it later and learn what's new in the book. So happy January, everybody. Happy Thursday evening. And yes, like I said, I'm catching you off guard, but I was thinking about you. I was thinking about things Light Fight, and I was thinking about what can I talk about next? And there's actually quite a few things to talk about next. So hopefully you enjoy them. And if you missed this live and you're watching this as a replay, thank you for supporting the channel. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and turn on notifications. So if I do come live impromptu like this, it's happening. It's happening. So I will check in on comments. If you are joining, please type a comment, say hi, ask a question, let me know what you're thinking, and we'll make it fun, even if it's only me and one or two other people. But I'm glad to have you here in the Librarian, and I'm Brian Michael, your librarian, your Great Christmas Light Fight resource, and I'm a great resource for anything in general related to Christmas and, heck, even Halloween. I'll put it out there. I know a lot about the Halloween industry. So what am I going to talk about today? Well, a couple of things. First, I'm really curious on how you, my viewers, how's your takedown going? I'm sure many of you either are down or halfway down or still got a lot to go. And want to know how your takedown's going, so put that in the comments. Also, I'm going to talk about upcoming events. Yes, if you have not been following the groups or looking at the calendars, there are a lot of minis and trade shows and conferences coming up, starting in the next short few weeks. So I'm going to give you an update on all the way out through June. I'm going to post what's available, what's coming, where it's at, and maybe give you an idea where the ones I might attend. I'm curious to know where you're going to attend. So make sure, again, put in your comments when we get to that section. And then, as I mentioned, the ratings are in. Yes, how did we do in supporting the Great Christmas Light Fight Season 13? I'm going to share the ratings with you, and I'm going to comparing to past seasons and historical averages. So we'll talk about that. We'll see if our efforts helped, and hopefully we have good news to help Season 14 out. Then, if you're following some of our other YouTube friends like Christmas on Crestline, they're having a contest right now, the FAAs, Fan Appreciation Awards. So I just want to bring awareness to that so you can go over and check out those videos and perhaps vote for your favorite displays. Maybe you submitted a display. Then I'm going to play some videos that I posted on my channel, but they were after the season. They were before my last live, and they're out there. You can go watch them individually, but I'll share them here just so we have some additional content to talk about, and hopefully you enjoy them. And then I'm going to introduce a sneak peek of who is my next very special guest. And yes, it is somebody from the Great Christmas Light Fight staff, and it's somebody who's never been interviewed in our space or in our channel or in respect to the Great Christmas Light Fight. So I think you're going to find them exciting, And that's going to be fun. So we're starting to get people join, even though I'm catching off guard again. Hi, everybody. Surprise. I'm here. I'm here. And so is my cup. By the way, it's filled with it's coffee, but it's not any coffee. If you are on the East Coast, particularly Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and of course down in Florida now, the great convenience store, Wawa. Yes, Wawa. So this is a giant cup of coffee, but it's not any coffee. It is their limited edition chocolate bliss coffee. And I got to tell you, I'm addicted to this stuff. It's so good. I just drink it black. Sometimes I put a little bit of vanilla almond milk unsweetened, and it tastes even better in a Great Christmas Light Fight cup. It's espresso, dark roast coffee, and then hints of chocolate. Smells good. Probably going to carry it through Valentine's Day. Check it out if you have a Wawa near you. All right. I do got people joining. I don't know if I have many comments in, but I'll check on them. And again, I caught you off guard, so we will check on a few comments. Why not? And then we'll get into the content here. We're going to keep it short, try to keep it an hour or less. And I appreciate anybody joining here with, again, I caught you off guard. So who do we have visiting us? My buddy is here. Troy from the North Pole Village. He's always the first. And even though I went impromptu, Troy, you're still the first post in the comments. So congratulations, man. You got your thumb on that button. You're liking, you're subscribing, you're following, you have the notifications on. So thank you for joining. I hope your takedown's going well. Let me know how it is. Let me know how it is up there in the North Pole Village. I got Candace joining me. Candace Lunar, season 13 champion. And if you missed the beginning of my intro, Candace, the stats are in. I'm going to let everybody know what viewership was like for this past season of the Great Christmas Light Fight, particularly even your episode. So find out how you did. Find out how you did. And by the way, I like your avatar there. Quick fun story. My better half, the Kimberly Michael, her favorite Sesame Street character is Oscar. Right? No, did I get that right? Not Elmo? You got Oscar the Grouch. Why am I drawing a blank right now? The one you have on your picture. So it is. Type it in. I'm drawing a blank. Kim's going to kill me. But she has the stuffed doll. If I knew you were going to have that on there, I would have had it and showed it to you because it's like, I won't tell you how old it is because then I might give away Kim's age. Anyway, thanks for joining. Hey, got Patrick Mott joining. Again, hey, Patrick, caught you off guard. Figured it was a good time. And yeah, July, we're going to talk about events coming up. I'm not going out to July, but I will mention the Christmas Expo. The calendar I made up is just through June. But thanks for joining in. What else we got? Oh, Troy said he's done taking his decorations down. You have a mild winter. We just got done in the 50s here in the Philadelphia, Pennsylvania area, but the cold front came in, and it's going to be highs of 30s, lows in the teens, and very windy, just like it's been all year. Congratulations on getting those down. What else do we got? Oh, Troy's got a lot of questions. You've got that. You've got it taken down. Are you putting up your display next year? It's yet to be seen. It's yet to be seen. See how the year goes. I might do a tour next year of a different state or states like I did this past year when I did my OK Texas Xmas. Go check out that video if you haven't seen it. The coffee does sound amazing, and it is amazing. Again, smells like Reese's cups in there. No peanut butter, though, just Hershey's bars. And it'll give me energy to get through this. All right. Oh, it's Grover. Yes. I can't believe I forgot Grover's name. Who else we got here? Patrick saying halfway down with the display. So only 250,000 lights still up, Patrick? Only 250? You're getting there. You're getting there. Hey, I got another Light Fight alum joining. Mr. Sam Finney joining from Arkansas. Another champion of the Great Christmas Light Fight and another fan-friendly person of Tanya Nyack. Tanya Nyack, the best judge ever. The best judge ever. All right. I actually have quite a few comments and people are still joining. So thanks for joining me impromptu. So what do I want to go through today? I do want to go through a couple of things. So I'm going to start with my first topic, and that is upcoming events and shows. So if you've been paying attention, there are a lot of minis, trade shows, industry shows coming up over the next couple months. They're almost too many to go to all of them. Even some of the vendors, unfortunately, are backing out of participating or having booths at some of them, which is their, their objective, and they know why they need to do that, or how they're going to support it in a different way. But they're still going to lots of events. So what events are coming up? Well, there's a lot, and they start real soon, sooner than you might be thinking, especially if you're still taking down your display. So let me pop up the little screen I put in here together, and let's look at shows coming up through June, and there are more. So this is the calendar. I'm going to expand this out so I can even see it better. So the very first one starts, 2.5 weeks away, and that is the Magical Light Show Holiday Lighting Conference and Academy. That is put on by Tom Bettgeorge and his team down in Orlando, Florida. I'd love to attend it. I never did it. I'm sure it's heavy on light show programming and X lights, and I don't know whatever else they talk about, but I'm sure it's about how to put together an epic show like Tom's team does. So that's going on right now in Orlando, Florida. I believe it's actually in the Magic Kingdom or on the Disney properties, is my understanding. Then the next one that I'm excited about, and my head elf is excited about, Kimberly, is the Mini at Sea. We're going on the Mini at Sea. We went to the Mini at Sea last year, and I can't believe, and that was to Alaska. And we had a great conference on there. Go check out my old episode where I talked about the Mini at Sea and why you should go, and I shared a lot of videos. So we're doing that. It's a cruise on Royal Caribbean to Cabo San Lucas out of the port of Los Angeles. So it's going to be exciting. And we're going to have a great Mini on board. They're going to do one of the builds they're doing, group builds, is if you've ever gone to some of the conferences, some people have the top hats with the pixels on them and it scrolls messages around. That's going to be the build on the Mini. So you can learn how to do that even if you don't do pixels and just have a cool hat. And you get to take it home with you and wear it at your display when you're visiting guests. So we're going to the Mini at Sea. Matter of fact, you know what? I got to throw in a quick video. I put this together for J.R. Matos, who helped spearhead the Mini at Sea and kind of kick that all off. And now he has a lot of people helping him. But I put together a little hype video. If you've never seen it on his channel, let me play it real quick and we'll come back to the calendar. So check this out. What do you think of that, huh? Cheers to that. And there'll be a lot of cheering on the Mini at Sea because you got the unlimited drink package, and it'll be more than coffee. It might be spiked coffee, but might be a lot of frozen stuff too. So, hey, check out the Mini at Sea. It's probably too late to get on the one that's leaving in a few weeks, middle of February, over Valentine's Day. Yeah, Valentine's Day. Got to cruise over 4th of July, now over Valentine's Day. No better way to treat your better half to a great vacation and learn about Christmas lights, Mini at Sea. So that was the next event coming up. All right. And then after that, early March, my second home, the state of Oklahoma, and in the Oklahoma City area is the Oklahoma Christmas Light Enthusiast Mini. And that's a very small one-day Mini put on by many people in that area. I know a bunch of them. Some of them are past light fighters. Matter of fact, it's put together by the Miranda family from season 7. I do know that I believe the Slankards are trying to get down from season 12. I know Charlie Byers is trying to get down from Christmas on Crestline, who helps support the channel and supports a lot of light fight stuff. And then a lot of light show bigwigs, if you will, do a great job, like Tom Gore and things of that nature, who are in the Pixel groups. They'll be there. So it's for everybody. It's not just for Pixels. So check that out. And then the next big one after that, that I still have not made a full commitment to, but we're planning on going to, that is the Florida Mega Mini in Plant City, Florida. So last year, got to go with that, got to work a little bit with Tom Stallings and his team to round up the biggest collaboration of past light fighters and future light fighters so that we could spend time with Tanya Nyack and Felicia Aaron White. And I don't know if they're doing that this year. It's a Polar Express theme this year. So not sure what to expect. I'm sure they're going to have a lot of cool cool things related to the Polar Express. I don't know if there's any special guests, but you could be special. You could be special. And despite a saying I've heard that if everybody's special, no one's special, I think you're all special. So you need to come to the Florida Mega Mini. We'll most likely be there. Just have not booked it yet. I'm trying to look at some vacation times and things of that nature. All right, let's get back to what else we got next. By the way, in the comments, type in which ones you think you're going to. Or if there's some other ones on here. Again, I'm only going out through June that maybe I missed but are coming your way. Or maybe you're putting together your very own mini. The next one is the big trade show, Transworld. Transworld in St. Louis, which I've gone to 2 years in a row. A lot of vendors go to it. A lot of past light fighters go to it. This year, I'm not going to it unless something changes very last minute. Just made a decision. I needed to, after going 2 years in a row, this is geared towards, commercial venues for the most part, although it's, they have a lot of home haunters and home Christmas designers like myself and many of you that have gone to it. But Transworld is definitely worth going to. I do know Boscoyo is not going to have a booth there this year. They're not going to do any trade shows this year or minis unless something changes last minute. They put that out on their space. And J.R. Matos from Matos Designs just put out a calendar, and he's attending Transworld but not having a booth this year. So there will be plenty of booths there. I know Jordan Maywald's going to have a booth there selling his stuff. I know I'm sure David Peace will still be there, and Minor Mendoza with Your Pixel Store, and Shane Dabbs from Santa Land, and a bunch of others will be there. So it's still worth definitely checking out. So if you are going this year, I'm sorry, I'm probably going to miss you, but have a good time if you've never been, because it's super cool. Super cool. All right. Then not far after that, we're going to Phoenix, Arizona. When I say we, that is the Southwest Holiday Lighting Experience Mini. And that is a mini that rotates between California and some of the other regions. They're trying something new. And it's going to be in Phoenix, Arizona, which is appropriate because a lot of past light fighters have been on from the Phoenix area on the Great Christmas Light Fight. So not only will they be there, all the other enthusiasts that have great displays in that area will be there, and people will be traveling from all over. Maybe I'll make it work. I don't know yet. It's a little too early. Then that same weekend for a one-day event, if you're up in the Michigan area, there's the Michigan Lighting Group Mini, and it's held in Frankenmuth, Michigan. And why is that important if you know about it? Well, it's at a great Christmas store, infamous Christmas store that I've never really been to, and it's on my list. That's Bronner's. Bronner's, yes, it's held at Bronner's, is my understanding. So kind of need to check that out maybe. Maybe I can make it fit. And then also that same weekend on Sunday, if you can't get to one of those, if you can't get to Arizona or you can't get to Michigan, maybe you can get to Minnesota and the Minnesota Mini being held somewhere in Minnesota. I didn't find on the site where the location is, but I'm sure on their Facebook group you can find it. Or if somebody's on here knows, paste the city and state, the city in where it's going to be. So that's another local mini being put together. And then after that, we're moving to the right side of the column. And one I definitely know I'll be at, and that is the East Coast Christmas Show and Haunters Convention put on by Transworld. It's in Oaks, PA. They publish it as Philadelphia, PA. So it is literally around the corner from yours truly. So if you do go to this show, I'm definitely going to see you, and then I would love to hang out and get together. And if we get enough people, Kim and I have talked about hosting a little event back at the house here. So pool's not open yet, obviously, because it's only April. The deck's not even set up, but we have the grill. We can get food. We can get drink. Last year, we got to go with a bunch of the vendors afterwards. We went and did an escape room. So that was fun. And you got to come to the East Coast Christmas Show. If you can't get to the big Transworld, this one's geared more towards the home enthusiasts, both for Christmas and Halloween, but there'll be a lot of commercial people there as well. So check that one out. Go look on their website. Everything's out there. You can start blocking hotels if you want, or lay out travel. And there's a lot of cool stuff nearby. They're going to Hershey Park. They're going to some of the local big haunts for private preseason screenings like Eastern State Penitentiary and a few others. There's usually a party at a place called Arnold's next there. There's I forget the name of it right now, the Antique Treasure Stop or something like that. Right next door, it has a lot of cool old stuff in it. So there's a lot of stuff here besides going to Philly and running up the Rocky Steps, which they just announced today, by the way. If you don't know, there's actually 3 Rocky statues. There's one by the Art Museum, at the bottom of the steps. Then there's one in the middle of the steps, and they just put one in Philadelphia International Airport in the A terminal for tourists to go see. But they just announced today they're going to move the main Rocky statue all the way back to the top of the Art Museum steps where it belongs in the movie, not halfway down, the top. City of, well, almost champions. The Eagles let me down this year. So anyway, cool news. All right. Get your comments in. I'll check in comments in a minute after we get through the calendar here. Let me know which ones you're going to. Then another one that's on my list that I keep trying to make and they keep moving around, but I definitely want to get to the SoCal Mini, and that is in Redlands, California. It's being held at the Garner Holt Studios again. If you're not familiar, Garner Holt Studios does a lot of the animatronics for Universal, Disney, movies houses. And you get to have a private tour. You got to sign an NDA. You can't take pictures, but you get to go behind there. And last year, everybody got to build a their own animatronic bird that you could use in your display. And there's a lot of light fighters there, a lot of big time enthusiasts that do great displays. So it's another great opportunity to network. I'm going to try to get to that one, but it is still too early to say. All right. And then even though Boscoyo's not traveling, they do host a open house at their place. It is May 23rd this year. I forget the city. I should have looked up where their offices are, but it is in Louisiana. And my understanding is they host a big crawfish boil. You could pick up props. A lot of people go hang out. It's just a great hangout. It's almost like a mini, but more like a party is what I've heard. So you got that one coming on. And then if you want to travel some more the week after, you have two options. You can go to the Pacific Northwest Mini in Des Moines, Washington. That's the 29th and 30th. So it's a 2-day mini. Or where I will likely be is the New York Christmas lighting mini. I almost made this one work last year, but it was last minute. Bobby Galeza, who works for J.R. Matos and Matos Designs, helps put this together. So it's a growing mini. So I do know Matos will be there. And what's even cooler is it is in Niagara Falls on the United States side. So you can either stay in a hotel in Canada, a little bit cheaper, and do all the falls. And they have a cool, like Vegas style village there with all kinds of activities if you want. Plus it's beautiful scenery. Then you can go hiking, you can make it a vacation. So I think we're going to really try to do that one this year as a fill-in vacation. It's a couple-hour drive. Then we can stop at Wine Country on the way back. Then you get into June, the Frozen Mini, and that's in Wisconsin. I believe last year it was held at a campground. I believe last year Kristen Moss, the casting director for the Great Christmas Light Fight, participated in that event and went to that event. And you had a lot of big enthusiasts. They had a drone show, all kinds of cool stuff happened there. And it sounds like another one I got to try to get to. But again, I can't make them all. But hopefully you can make it and document it and share with us. Then that same weekend is a local mini in Indiana, the Indiana Mini. I know I think that's, if I get this correct, I think it's Larry Calvert that helps put that together. But anyway, I know there's been some past light fighters. I know Joe Manfrey, who was the Pixel Light Show that was on my episode, has spoken there as a past light fight contender. And it sounds like it's a great mini. I've seen pictures and videos of it and so forth. Then the last one, kind of the last one I want to talk about, is one I participated in last year, and that's the Ohio Mini. Huge mini, almost as big as Florida. Maybe it'll get up to the size of Florida this year as far as attendees. Good vendor crowd. I got to teach a class there about light fight. I got to hang out with Brad and Candace Lunar as well, who were, I took my light fight trophy and I have pictures of them holding it. And they're like, oh, this is the first time we ever held one of these. And then I knew they won. They didn't tell me they won, but I got the gut feel. I was 5 for 6 on light fight this year. I knew they won. So we'll get to see them again. It's great for light shows, traditional displays, hybrid displays. I'm not sure if I'm going to teach a class this year unless they want to see some other variation of light fight or if I come up with another topic. But I'm planning on going. We'll see if anything changes. And if not, what I'd like to do, if I don't teach, I would love to host a librarian live episode from there. So that might be what we do. We'll figure that out when we get closer. There is one more in June that I didn't fit on the screen here. From my friends in Texas, the Northern Texas Mini is the end of June. You can check it out on mini.org or something like that. I forget the website. If anybody knows the website, there is a calendar out there where you can look at all the minis beyond, because then I don't even get into, you start getting into July, August, September. There's still a lot of minis, and I'll update the calendar on one of a future episode as we get closer for events coming up there, including the one I will mention is Christmas Expo. It's supposedly back this year. It's in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, at I believe, a DoubleTree property. They're planning on bringing it back. I know there's vendors that want to support it. We hope they don't cancel it again. And there's going to be a lot of past light fighters there as well, especially because Dallas has a ton of light fight families there, but a lot of enthusiasts, a lot of great displays. So I think it's another great networking opportunity, a great place to go get good barbecue. And I know some people might host a local party. Maybe you'll get invited to that. So that's what I got so far, folks, for shows. Let's check the comments and see what you guys had to say about that before we get into the next topic, which is going to be the great Christmas light fight ratings from season 13. But let's go to the comments here. We got a few in. And again, I'm stuck at managing these comments. I wish they had a different screen to do it on. So Troy's asking, what town is the Frozen Mini at? I'm not sure. Just look for it on Facebook. I meant to do that before. It's at some campground where you can actually camp in cabins during the Mini. And I'm not sure where it is. I forget. But just search for it on Facebook, and it's on there. Psych. LOO psych. Yeah, I know. I knew you had that trophy. It wasn't the first one you held. Fun, quick story, though. A couple years ago, the year we filmed, the year we aired, so as you know, you film a year in advance, or you used to. I was in Arizona in early December. We didn't air till the 19th, and I went to Chris Burkett's house. He was a winner with his display, the Holiday Outlaws. Like, his display was got shut down, so they moved. They had Carter as a judge. They had a Western town theme, a castle, light show. Anyway, he had his trophy there, and I took a picture holding it. And after I posted on Facebook, everybody says, "You won? You won?" And I had to, no, it was his trophy. It really was. And I had to, kind of like you, I said, first time I ever held one of these. It's pretty heavy, pretty heavy. And then Candace, I think it would be fun to do a live stream from there. I know I could do one. I know if JR gets back with the professional triers episodes, maybe he wants to do one. We could have a lot of cool live interactions, interviews, vendors. So I'm going to talk to the committee about that, Ed and Brad and everybody else. Brandon Brown's joining in. He must have notifications on and heard I was going live without telling anybody. Yeah, invitations to come, I'm sure you're talking about during the expo to come up to the display. So, our party, whatever. So we'll be there. Hey, speaking of friends from Oklahoma, Robert and Lori Slanker joining. Hey, surprise, caught you off guard. Here's a live, but you're going to want to stay tuned because I'm going to talk about who I'm having on my show from Light Fight next Wednesday night. So we'll talk about that at the end so you can see who it is. Oh, and the Lunars are saying they're going to come to Philly. Hey, they know where it's at. So we'll make sure we get by and hang out. We're going to hang out. I know Brad was there. If I remember, Brad did show up last year. I don't remember if you were there. I'm not sure. But there are a couple people showed up last year. Yeah, and Patrick said he sees one missing, North Texas. I knew that was there, the Texaholics. I just couldn't fit it on the slide, so I figured I would show it on my next update. But thank you for noticing, Patrick. Let's see. Did I miss anybody? Oh, yes. Joseph Gonzalez joining again from Kansas. Your blow mold pictures that you've been posting in the group look great. Your choir's growing. I'm trying to figure out how you did it because your choir, you have as much or more than I do, and I've been collecting for 30 years. I've had to throw some away. Apparently, I do repair stuff, but they break, as you know, and you just got to scrap them sometimes. So I do that. All right. We got Ryan Wheelwright joining. Utah or Las Vegas? I think the closest one you're going to get is Phoenix. Utah does do a mini. Not sure if they publish it on the calendar, but Jordan Nash, if you've heard of Jordan Nash, he's mentioned a lot. He supports a lot of the stuff like at Florida Mega Mini, kind of infamous in the light show world as far as being known by everybody. They do hold a mini in Utah. I know he wants me to go to it, but I'm sure it's on the calendar, but check it out. There is one in Utah. By the way, now I know why you're asking, because you're from Utah. All right. I think I'm caught up on most of the comments. There's a couple new ones. Yeah, it was just Brad last year. So, well, we're looking forward to have you here as well. And the trophy, bring the trophy. Then you'll see what it's like to travel with it. Remember, it's so nerve-wracking. That's why I built a box. Matter of fact, the last Christmas decoration I took down this year was just this week. It was my Light Fight trophy. I do not keep it out. I pack it. I built a custom box for it with styrofoam and padding, and I put it away. And I mainly put it away because I have 2 cats, and I'm just nervous they'll knock it over. And then, hey, we got a fellow shipmate that's going to be on the Mini at Sea. We got Carl and his wife Joan, who will be joining us on the Mini at Sea to Cabo San Lucas. And Carl, you need to join. I'm going to talk about the FAAs later to remind people for Charlie. I know you're a contender on there, trying to win some great prizes from Matt Doe's Designs. What else we got? And Brandon just started taking down Candyland Christmas yesterday. Come on, man, get that thing down. I know it looks good and you don't want to take it down, but the wind, man, the wind. All right. And Carl might make it to Philly. Hey, why not? Why not? There's going to be a lot of people here to hang out with, and you'll be right near our house. All right. So there are the comments for right now. I want to move on to my next topic. And again, thank you for joining last minute. And if you're new and watching this later or just joined because you saw something pop up on Facebook, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, turn on notifications. So if I do surprise you, you know I'm on air. I'm on air. Again, for those just joining, if you don't got a Wawa near you, that's what's in this mug here. Chocolate Bliss coffee, just black, and hints of espresso, hints of Hershey bars, dark roast. Oh, it's amazing. Amazing. All right. Next topic, which I think you might be interested in. I want to talk about what happened this past year on season 13 of the Great Christmas Light Fight, and not specifically recapping the episode. That's been done a lot this past year, and deservedly so. It was a great season. Charlie did it on Christmas on Crestline. I did some updates, and we've both had staff on to talk about it. We both had contenders. I want to talk about the ratings because they're in. And if you remember last year, I guess it is last year because we're in this new year, they talked about moving the way they filmed season 14 is going to be like they used to do it. They're going to do it in August, September, October, somewhere around there, edit it, and then air it. Some of that was, there was a lot of push about watch the show, get the ratings up. So did we do that? Did all of your efforts do that? Well, I'm going to share with you where we are. And I'm going to say overall, I think you're going to be disappointed. And what I mean by that, there's still strong ratings, but they really didn't grow. So let me show you what I'm talking about because, the librarian does keep the stats in this red book. And let me pop them up and share with you. Now, these aren't official Nielsen. They're published out in different sites that I scour for ratings. So they're pretty close, if not accurate. They might actually be the ratings, but I'll explain a couple things as we talk about it. So let's look at the average compared to all the years since Light Fight was on. So let me pop this up here. Let me expand it out. You'll see to the far right is the average viewership. If you take episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, average all the viewership together, you had about 1.88 million people watching it total for the season, which you can see is that is not up versus season 12. It's actually down quite a bit. Season 12 averaged 2.27 million, and season 11 that we were on, which was still a COVID season, averaged 1.83 across the whole season of all the episodes combined. I'm going to dive into more specific details just so you're aware of them. This is by no means my area of expertise, but I do want to point out a couple of things. So what are the challenges with the show in general? So if you go back to 2013, when it premiered it averaged 4.7 million people across the whole season. Then the second year, it bumped up to almost 6 million. You're talking numbers that like Survivor and so forth were getting. Then it still went down, but it was still respectable for the next 6, 7, 8 years, 3 to 5 million. And then you got near COVID and it started dropping down to the 2s, but it did for a reason and a couple reasons. And let me talk a little bit about some of those. So One of the first thing is, as you know, the way you consume TV and media has totally changed since 2013. There are more choices. There's streaming, there's podcasts, there's all different types of media. So, people have disconnected from cable. People have disconnected even from satellite, or some people don't even have TV. And then you got things like the Roku and the Sling and all these different channels. So that's one of the first things. So that's something to think about. The second thing is, many of you know this, that watch Light Fight or bet on Light Fight, is inconsistent airing. And what I mean by that over the years is, instead of being on, let's say, Sunday night when all your families are at home and at 7 or 8 o'clock Eastern time, which translates well across families, when kids are still up and it's a family show, that's gone away. They had some of that early on. And then the challenge now is they throw it in the time slot where the first episode, they do a double stack usually, doesn't start till 9, 10 o'clock at night on the East Coast. And it's 11 o'clock at night by the time it's over. A lot of people are in bed, and they do it on a school night usually. So that's one of the things. And then the frequency. So instead of running it once a week and having a consistent audience for 4, 5, 6 weeks, they bang it out in 3 weeks. There's even been a time where in 2 weeks they banged out all the episodes. So that is the first thoughts on it. So what do you think? Did you watch enough? I know I watched a lot on Trading the Places and Spaces channel on Pluto, which that's ended January 4th, but did watch a lot of episodes, finally saw mine. Thank you for those who said, hey, you're on, did the same for you. But let's go back to, why other challenges might exist. So the other thing is variety. I talked about it. There's podcasts, and then there's different genres. Some people like to watch reality. Some people like to watch sitcoms. Some people like to watch movies, whatever it is. So that's pulled away. And then, to be totally fair and honest and unbiased, even though I love the show since 2013, there is a subset of people that used to watch that have become disenfranchised with the show. And what I mean by that is they don't like who the judges pick, or they feel they don't feature real displays, or it's not real reality TV, that it's all scripted, or they're just tired of watching it. Matter of fact, I even know light fighters that don't watch anymore, which is unfortunate. So it's worth noting that there are people that are disappointed in the show because it doesn't hit how they want. Let's face it, we all know this if you're following or been on it. The show is a light fight show, but a lot of people don't like how they mix a pixel show with a static show with a inflatable show. But at the end of the day, we're enthusiasts. If you're somebody that's just the average Joe that says, hey, I want to check the show out, it has Christmas lights on it, you want to see variety, you want to see something different, because if you watched 4 light shows in a row, you're probably like, oh, that's nice. They all kind of look the same. Or, whoa, look, you got the same blow molds as that guy. Oh, wow, look at those inflatables. I don't buy those anymore because they look like puddles on my ground because they're always wet or too windy here. They got to mix it up. So that's where some of that is. So I'll just pop it up for reference. And what I'll want to say here last, though, is I have talked to Felicia. I've interviewed her. I've talked to her. I've exchanged messages with her in the past. And these ratings are still super strong. Matter of fact, I heard a comment where, if you're averaging 2 million viewers, you are in some instances on the same night of, like, say, a Grey's Anatomy or some other show like that that's real popular. The ratings are very similar, believe it or not. So they're still very strong. Hoping it translates to a continued commitment for season 14 and then 15 and beyond. But that's what we got. That's what we got. What do you think? What do you think? Get your comments in. Now I'm going to dig a little deeper, and I'm going to compare, just because it's see the numbers a little more crisp. I want to show each episode. I'm going to compare season 12 to 13 just because they were the two most recent. So let me add this to the stage. Whoops, wrong one. I need to remove this one first. That's why it's throwing me off, and I need to add this one. All right. So you were looking at here on the left is season 12, and each bar represents an episode. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the same on the right is season 13. So you'll notice the premiere episode of season 12 drew in 2.35 million people. For season 13, it drew in 2.32 million. So it was basically the same. And usually the first episode, and a lot of times second to last or last episode, are the two that draw the most. You'll look, it was consistent in 12 because they double stacked them, and the way they did the ratings is 2.35 for episode 2. They broke them down more granularly, it seems, in this ratings release. Episode 2 had God, I can't see that. Let me zoom it up. Should have my glasses on. 1 point, I think it says 92, 1.92, yes. 1.92 million viewers. So it went down a little bit in the second episode. So maybe people, it was getting late. I think if I remember, it didn't start till 9. Episode 2 didn't come on till 10 and didn't get over to 11. People got kids, got to go to bed. I talked about that. And it kind of mirrors. So if you start looking at episode 3, in season 12, it was 2.34 million, so a little bit under episodes 1 and 2. And in season 13, it was 2.05 million. So it went back up for the earlier time slot. So kind of gives me, if I had to make a hypothesis, is that, hey, I want to watch this show. I can watch it starting at 9 to 10, but then when it hits 10 and 11, I got to go to bed. It kind of supports my opinion that the show needs to start at the latest 8 Eastern time if ABC will give them that time slot. And then the second one comes on at 9. If it ends by 10, I think the viewership will go up. Then you look at episode 4, which again was double stacked and came on. Again, it supports, it dropped from 2.05 million in episode 3 to 1.63 million for episode 4. People were going to bed probably. Now you jump to the season finale where they put episodes 5 and 6 on back to back. In 2012, it drew 1.2 million viewers. And in season 13, that first hour drew 1.84. So it was down. It was down compared to season 12. And then that final episode drew in a little over 1.5 million. So I would say they're solid and strong, but my gut would tell me it's disappointing. It's disappointing for what we were hoping as we were trying to drive people to watch the episode. So if you have opinions on why you think it might be down in addition to what I shared, feel free to put in the comments and we'll share them with everybody. But that's where we're at there. I'm going to show you one more slide. Won't go through it all in detail because it's kind of an eye chart, but let me show you 2013 all the way up back to 2025. All on one chart. It shows you each episode. I'll keep it up for a few minutes, but it shows you, where we used to have those 5 and 6 million viewers per episode watching. And it's interesting information. So again, you can kind of see up here where you had all these high bars and then it grew even more. You can't really read the numbers on here. And as you've gone on over the years, it just slowly started detracting down, and it kind of, I'll pop this up here quick. You can see it has that downward slope, which if you're into sales and marketing, you usually like to see upward slopes or even flat. So we have gained viewership back, but it's not consistent year over year. So, whoops, wrong one. This is where it's at. If you want to learn more, I'll gladly share it on either a future episode of The Librarian, or if I do a class, or you want me to do a class at one of your minis, if you're watching this, I can dive deep and do a really fun class, current. And even though it's geared on light fight, it's more interesting than that. If you've been watching the channel or have had me present before, it's a lot of fun. So let's check in on the comments to see what the thoughts were on the viewership. And yeah, I wish it was more. And I'm hoping, and I believe that they're still solid ratings, and they're going to justify bringing back a holiday special that has similar ratings to, the other shows they air on ABC at that time, like the Disney special and the Hollywood Squares and Family Feud, which we did record those and watch them. They were actually really fun. If you go back and watch the holiday editions of Family Feud and Wheel of Fortune and Hollywood Square, they're fun. Coffee, keep me going. All right, let's check these comments. Don't mind me looking over here. Oh, I got Monty joining. Haven't seen you in a while, Monty. Last saw you at the Ohio Mini, which you might have heard me talking about. Glad to have you. Got Robert Smith joining us. Robert's really involved with Trans World, and I don't know if you missed it, Robert. It looks like I'm going to miss St. Louis this year. Unfortunately, I've been 2 years in a row. It's an amazing, amazing show. Unless something comes up last minute, I had to pick and choose something. So take a break, but we'll be at East Coast. It's right around the corner from my house. I will be there in full force all the days. And if there's any vendors that want me to help, I'll help. I'll help with the show. I agree, Candace. The late time slot, it's rough. I mean, 10 o'clock at night. I know in the central part of the state, and then, as you get farther to the left where it's earlier and they change the times it airs, it's tough. It's tough to watch. I'm yawning at 10 o'clock at night, even though I stay up late. Here's Patrick. No wonder no one knows about our display. Look how low episode 5 on season 12 was. And you're right. The other thing I didn't mention, and maybe some of you do and don't know that watch the show, Patrick was on season 12 on the episode he's talking about. And the night it was supposed to air, he was set up for a watch party. He's in the Texas market. They put on the local professional basketball game instead and aired his episode like at 2 a.m. the next day. So maybe we lost all of Texas viewership because of that. That would have brought those numbers up. So it's a good point. Troy's saying, do you think viewership down to the show was due to format change? I didn't bring that up, and that's a good point. Thank you for reminding me, Troy. I don't think that drove the change, although I saw a lot of comments on Facebook groups and on the Christmas Light Fight page where you have the average Joe making comments like, hey, I watched that episode and you picked the wrong person, or why. I did see people post, why is there only 3 on here? It's not as interesting. Why aren't there 4 families? And, some of us know the reasons in that. It was pitched as more time to show the displays. I actually timed them. And I would say on average, each family got an extra 1.5 to 2 minutes of additional scene. I felt there was a little bit more commercials, but it did equal more time like they talked about. But there's still part of me that thinks budget played into the format change. But at the end of the day, I'm just glad the show's still around, and hopefully season 14 gets made like they promised us, and hopefully you applied if you want to be on the show. All right. Hey, got Bobby joining us. Hey, thank you, Bobby. Ears must have been buzzing. I was talking about you. I've never presented at your mini, so it'd be a great opportunity. I feel my content does not get stale, so I can go back to Florida, Ohio, any of the minis, the Eastern Region Lighting Enthusiasts, which I didn't mention that many. They did it last year in early time frame. Their inaugural. They're moving it back later this year. They haven't picked the date, so that's another one in New Jersey. But I'd love to do it at the New York Mini. I can tweak this. I can make it more of how you can have a great display that's light fight worthy. It doesn't even have to be about light fight, but it included to show here's why these displays were on. So let's talk about it. I am hoping to come up there this year. I really do want to commit because great vacation spot too. And, get to hang out with good people like you. All right. Again, hit like, hit subscribe, get your comments, and we're going to move to the next section. And that's just a reminder about Christmas on Crestline, my buddy Charlie, who helped inspire me with my channel and to do this channel, along with JR and Professional Triers. Go watch my premiere episode where I talk about that. It's a 15-minute clip. Go into YouTube, my channel, go under the live tab, and then there's a playlist, or go under playlist and pick librarian episodes or something like that. I have it labeled. And go to the very first one and watch it for 15 minutes. It's kind of funny. It just talks about where the name came from and so forth. But let's talk about, I just want to remind people, if you're not aware of it, so Charlie Byers runs Christmas on Crestline. Check it out on YouTube. Just search Christmas on Crestline. Has lots of videos, a lot of how-tos, does a lot of stuff for Light Fight. But he also does a fan appreciation awards. And all the submissions have already been put in. I think he's had close to 30 submissions this year. And he's divided it up into light show category, something he calls string category, and then traditional or static category. And he has a Patreon channel where he previewed those videos, but now he's starting to post everybody's videos that were submitted on YouTube so that you can go vote and win awards. And what do you win? Well, I don't have all the thunder here, but what you can win is a lot of prizes that are donated by J.R. Matos. So he's including mega trees. I don't know if they're Sasquatch versions or Zeus or whatever they are, but several mega trees, pixel lights, pixel props. And then at the end of the day, he has this great trophy that he created. The inaugural one was given away last year, and there's a similar version this year. He's going to modify it a little bit. Giant, heavy trophy that you get to win. And, you might not be on Light Fight, but hey, everybody likes to get noticed. And if you could win that cool award from a cool vendor, Matos Designs, I think it's really cool. So it's definitely too late for you to enter this year, but go support his channel, go vote, go watch the videos, go watch some of Charlie's videos. So any comments on that? I know we have people on here that entered the FFA contest. Feel free to put it in. Like Forrest Gump, that's all I got to say about that. But I love it. I love it. All right. the next thing I was going to put this last, but I'll put it now. So then I have two videos I want to show just because I think they're fun. But I do have a new episode coming next week, and I will get it posted tonight or tomorrow with all the official how to join information. But let me do my drum roll, or let me ring my Salvation Army Christmas bell and announce who my next special guest is going to be. And I think you'll like it. Matter of fact, I think it's really, really fun and totally different. And you might not recognize the name. You might not recognize the face like you do this one. I'm funny, all right? But you definitely know the voice, especially if you are a fan of the Great Christmas Light Fight. So with no further ado, next Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, bookmark it. I'll get it posted soon. I'm pleased to have my very special guest, the voice of the Great Christmas Light Fight, Mr. Brian Fairley. So let me, man, I forgot to remove the last thing, so I messed up that great introduction. The Brian Fairley. So if you don't know Brian, Brian is the voice of the Great Christmas Light Fight. So when you hear all the dub overs, the voiceovers where he's talking about the displays, and when you hear the famous, the Great Christmas Light Fight is on, Brian will be interviewing with me. We're going to talk about his career in voiceover for the past 30 years. So besides being the voice of the Great Christmas Light Fight since the second season, there was another announcer. We'll talk about that later. For the first season, Brian's also the first announcer and only announcer that's done the Great Halloween Fright Fight. He also does voiceovers for TV commercials. He does voices for video games. He does voices in a lot of movies or voiceovers for movies. And then, once you hear his voice on those kind of works that he's done, it's interesting because if you've ever seen the movie The Holiday, when they talk about she was a video cassette queen, he was a widower, will they fall in love? He has that kind of voice. So it's really cool. It's going to be fun. We're going to talk about how the Light Fight voiceover stuff works. We're going to see how he does stuff in his studio. I got some video clips. We're going to see how it's coordinated with the producers, how the scripts come about. It's going to be a really fun interview. So think about questions you might want to ask him. And again, I will get this posted, but it's going to be live next Wednesday, January 21st, 7 p.m. Eastern. Watch my Facebook post for details. And it's going to be a really good time. I had a conference call with him yesterday to go over what this might look like. And he's a really fun guy, does a lot of cool voices. And I'm hoping that maybe I can get him to give me a tagline, shout out that I can record, like the librarian, your Great Christmas Light Fight resource, something like that. Maybe he'll do that for me. I don't know. But I hope you join and watch for the post. I'll either get it out tonight or tomorrow, like I said. Then you can bookmark and turn on notifications to know when that's going to happen. So what do you think of that? That'll be fun. All right. Get your final comments in. The last thing I want to talk about, and then I'm going to go have dinner, and I'm going to watch TV. It's Thursday night. All the TV shows are back, if you watch them or if you DVR. But you'll be surprised at some of the stuff that Brian's done. You'll be like, whoa, I saw that movie. Oh, I didn't know he did that. It's awesome. Well, you know what else is awesome? My son got me my first Lego set for Christmas. Believe it or not, I haven't had Legos since I was a kid and never joined the bandwagon. So he said, Dad, I didn't know what to get you this year because you kind of get whatever you want. So he gave me this. He goes, try this. This is an easy one. So it's Santa's sled. So I'm sure it'll take me about 8 hours to put this together when I get to it. But hey, maybe somebody could teach me. Maybe we could do this on the East Coast. I'll save it to April and we can come back here and put a Lego together. That'll be fun. I'm just kidding. But hey, all right. So the last two things I want to show, just two videos. They're about 2 minutes long. Hang in there. Some of you might have seen them, but I posted. So the last live I did was at a former season 11 winner, the Yazaki family, who had the 8-bit Nintendo video game theme, if you remember that. Well, he no longer does it at his house. He moved to commercial and does a venue called Glow in New Jersey. It's a commercial drive-through venue, big one. Go back and watch the video. We we took the technology to its ends, and we drove through the display and filmed. It was freezing cold out there, and I'm in short sleeves. It was a fun interview. But anyway, after that, I got to do two things. One is I got to go right around the corner, and I did this last year. I went to a season 12 winner, the McCarty-Williams family, their display is called Frostland Village. And they are the ones that had Tanya, and they have all the boxes with all the animated figures in them, specifically David Hamburger display figures, and amazing display. Well, they did a total new theme this year. I did put a standalone video. Maybe you saw it, maybe you didn't. It's not a lot of views on it yet because I really didn't advertise it. But I want to show that real quick. So let me play this for 2 minutes for my Light Fight alumni, Lyle and Michael, the McCarty-Williams family from Pittman, New Jersey. Check this out. Let me know what you think about it. This is their new theme. It was a Jack Frost theme, and they actually redesigned some of their hamburger figures to create multiple Jack Frosts in different scenes. So I'm going to play this real quick, and then we'll come back and I'll talk about what the last video is, and then we'll wrap things up here. So check this out. 2 minutes. If you did see it, just watch it. It's a little over 2 minutes. It's fun. Season 12 winners, the McCarty-Williams family, Frostland Village. I'll be right back. Now that is one impressive display. If you don't remember, because it's themed a little bit different, even though they have some of the same figures, they really were made, I'll call it famous. They had the 30-foot tall blow mold tree, which they did not do this year. Instead, they had 4 or 5 of those municipal style trees. The story behind the blow mold tree is, believe it or not, go watch my episode when I visit them last year, not episode, my video, where season 12 meets season 11. I got to go in 2 things. I got to go inside the blow mold tree, and from behind, this is why they don't have it. They drilled a lot of holes in these molds, and they're up in the air. They're strapped on with big zip ties. A lot of them broken or brittle when they took them down. So they rethemed it a little bit different this year. They were on a train that you briefly saw in the video. That's what they were famous for, is one of their that blow mold tree. The other thing they were famous for is right down the middle of the driveway was a huge bakery where Tanya went in and they had all these elves making cookies and very elegantly themed. I got to go inside of that bakery last year as well in person, had my trophy in there with their trophy, and there's pictures with me and Lyle. I would go check it out. It's really cool. And you got to see it behind the scenes of their actual display that was on Light Fight for season 12. Another fun fact, if you will, Light Fight related. If you go back and watch this later, or go watch the standalone video I had posted for this year for Frostland Village, there's a scene where the bakery used to be. It's straight on. The way to remember it is when it pans after the baker scene on the left, you'll see a Little Dickens Village, Department 56, and then there's a giant sled in the back, animated. I don't have it shown very much because of the way I made the video. Anyway, fun fact is they acquired that from Chris Clark, who was on season 12, had Carter as a judge, and won for his blow mold display in Ohio that had the choir with over 100 choir people, and he had like 20, 30 trains. Cool story, how people are interconnected. So that's the things you get to learn when you go visit displays. It's really fun. All right, any comments in here? I see one or two. We're getting close. I got one more thing here. We'll be done in 5 minutes here. Candace says she'd love to do a GCLF roundtable at Ohio. Yeah, I think that'd be fun. We'll have several there. And really the purpose of the roundtables too is to get new people that want to be on the show so they can learn from those that have been on the show what it takes, what to look for, what the experience is like, some of the pros and cons, as you know, traffic. We talk about that stuff at the roundtables. Good idea. Yes, Brian Fairley, join next week. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun to hear him. I'm going to catch him off guard, see if he can do some of the voice, his voice live with the Christmas Light Fight is on. I got cool videos he sent me of some of his work that I'm going to share. It's going to be a little more than just a Light Fight interview, so it'll be fun. Yeah, I hope I talked to Lyle and Michael when we were there. You saw the picture at the end of the video where Kim and I were with them. They came out and showed us around this year's display. And they did say they want to bring the tree back, but a lot really did get damaged during takedown and disassembly, and they have to recollect them again. And cost and time to do that. So it may or may not make a return. I don't know. Maybe they have a bunch of those municipal trees. So maybe instead of it being a 20-foot tree, maybe they bring it down to a 10-foot or something. Who knows? I agree, Monte. Beautiful display. You should see it in person. By the way, you like how I made my little Jack Frost picture in the mid, and like I'm hanging there like Jack Frost? I gotta love AI for certain things, especially if you're goofy like me. All right. I'm going to hide that comment. All right. The last thing I got to say or to show is everybody knows I did the OK Texas Xmas. Go watch that video. I have a standalone video that's a highlight reel. And then I have every episode from the Maywald family, the Brown family, the Slankard family, the Mock family. I show a video where I stopped by Ben Sumner, who was on the show. I stopped by the largest leg lamp in the world. We did a whole bunch of cool stuff, so you got to check those out. But I made this video, and I wanted to do it for everybody, by the way, on the tour. But if you did go to my page, you might have saw I put together a special video for Jordan Maywald. And the reason I did that was if you don't know Jordan from season 7, we talk a lot about him on here, as the youngest winner of the Great Christmas Light Fight ever. It was his final year, at least at his house. He has hopes of moving to a commercial venue. That's his goal. Don't know if it'll happen for 2026. He's looking for property or a place. He's going to be a vendor at Transworld in St. Louis, so go see him. He did commit to sign up for that. I'd be hanging out there like I did with him last year, but I'm not. Anyway, I put together a video for him, and it's out there. You can go see it, but I wanted to show it here in case you weren't aware of it, because he deserves recognition for what he's done for Make-A-Wish over the years, for Light Fight, for his friendships with a lot of people in this group. And I wanted to make the video more aware so you could see it. So check that out. I'll also share before I play it, and I didn't make videos for these people yet, but there's a lot of light fighters that have hung up the lights this year. So the Blasco family, the youngest winners of Light Fight, Jordan, according to Felicia, This was their last year. They won last year with their display. The two young children that put up the display, with their dad. This was their last year. They're selling a lot of their display. So look at their site. They were in Minnetonka, Indiana, I believe, or Illinois, whatever. Anyway, they're done. Chris Clark, who I just mentioned, announced it was his last year selling a lot of his display. So you might want to search up Clark's Crazy Christmas to see if he's selling still. He reached out to me and see if I wanted to buy, but I'm not in a buying pattern. And there's a few others that are taking breaks. So that stuff happens. I took a break this year. Last year. We'll see if we come back this year. It was fun to go see a display. So I'm going to end it at this note. I'm going to play the video. Then you'll see me wave goodbye and we'll end the show. But please watch the little memory video I made for Jordan Maywald. I think it's really fun. I like doing these things. Over the summer, I'm hoping the footage I got from all the other displays, I can do something similar just to have some content throughout the summer. Jordan, I hope you find your commercial venue. Maybe I can help you set it up. We'll see. But everybody, thank you for joining me impromptu tonight. Watch this video, and I'll see you next week. Please, please, please come watch next week when I interview Brian Fairley from The Great Christmas Light Fight, the voice of The Great Christmas Light Fight, the voice of many movies that many of you love, and the voice of many commercials you've probably seen and said, wow, that guy's got a voice for radio. Check it out. But before that, check out this video I made for Jordan Maywald. And hey, everybody, I'm Brian Michael, your Great Christmas Light Fight resource, your librarian, your friend, your buddy. I'm here for you. I'm here to help the industry. I'm here to help you. And I really appreciate you joining me tonight. And I really appreciate what you do and the passion you share in Christmas lights, just like I do. So watch this video, and I'll see you next week on The Librarian.
Christmas bells merrily ring, tell all the world Jesus is King. Loudly proclaim with one accord a happy tale. Welcome the Lord. Ring Christmas bells, sound far and near. The birthday of Jesus is here. Herald the news to old and young.